Welcome back, y'all. It's your boy DJRichieSkye, and I got one question for y'all. I don't care. I wanted to know if you missed me, but really, what I want to know is, did you miss Miss Deborah? Because Deborah was back in the building last night. Okay, I don't know if y'all happened to catch her drive-by cameo. Okay, coming in through in the middle of Candace Bassett's scene with Chris outside on the patio where they brought up Miss Deborah, okay, aka as Potomac Housewives producers called her the Cookie Monster. Blah 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 blah. Okay. I just had to know. Did you miss her? Did you miss Bay? Did you miss Bay? Deborah is Bay. Okay. Deborah is Bay. Cookie Monster Bay. Okay. If you miss Cookie Monster Bay, chime down in the chatterization down below. Okay. If you miss Cookie Monster Bay, Deborah, chime down in the chatterization down below. Okay. Poor, justice for Deborah. Justice for Deborah. I tell you. Miss Deborah can't get a break. Y'all, we back in the building. Let's talk about this episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. All right. Outside of Deborah's return, okay, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna rate this episode. I mean, I was mildly disturbed, okay, just for a number of reasons, which we will discuss when I get into the review a little bit more. This episode was season 7, episode 16, called "The Naked Truth." Okay. Now, I'm going to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. And what am I going to rate it? I think I'm going to rate this episode. I'm going to rate it at 8.5. I'm torn. Like, I feel like I want to rate it at 8.5. And I feel like I want to rate it a 9. But I feel like I'm going to get with an 8.5 because I kind of felt like everybody was really doing what they already normally do. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was nothing really new and novel in this episode. I think what it really exposed to me and the audience was the fact that this is an engine that runs off of the same old, sometimes tired oil, okay? The same old tired petrol, the same old tired gasoline. And that is, okay, I'm gonna spread a little rumor. I'm gonna put a little sauce on it, and I'm gonna spread it around the circle. All right. The other side of that is I'm gonna throw out an allegation about somebody cheating on their husband, somebody's husband cheating on them. Okay, and we're gonna pass it around the circle. Honestly, that really to me is all that some of these women seem to have going on. And it's unfortunate because you do get to see a little bit of excitement and other things happening when you look at what Wendy is doing with her political commentary. You get to see a little bit of that when you see Candace planning for a legitimate, single release with Trina nonetheless. You do get to see a sprinkle of that when you see Karen going to the candle manufacturer and handing them a check for $10,000. That took me back to Nene and Dwight. $10,000, $10,000. You are OG if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, like, I want to see that type of stuff because ultimately, what if one of y'all want to start a candle business? You know what I'm saying? As a person of color, when you can see somebody else who looks like you going and doing something like that, that's major. So now, okay, if I'm trying to start this candle business and I'm trying to have my own inventory, I gotta spend X amount for the deposit. I might have to do this, that, and the third. You can see Wendy. What I loved about it is, and these were little details now, little details. Wendy, when we see her on the screen doing her political commentary, We saw her literally just put her laptop on the table, okay, sit down, get a nice little backdrop, and do her thing and be on the Simone Sanders show. What this should go to show you guys is, a lot of y'all let fear stop y'all from doing things that you want to do. And I ain't talking to everybody right now. I'm talking to you who this resonates to. You think that it takes all this effort, all this fancy equipment to do something that you want to do. Sometimes all it takes is the gumption to get up and do it. But that's, to me, what the things that I really liked about this episode. And I honestly didn't even recognize it until just now when I started talking about it. I'm like, dang, like we only got to see some like a little bit of real stuff there. I mean, I would count Robin and trying on her wedding dresses, but given that we'll never get to see the fruits of that labor, I don't even know if it's worth wasting my time. Okay. Now, let me move on into the episode, because y'all know I could preach a whole sermon, okay, and get you motivated to get something done in life. All right. But I like seeing that type of stuff. I don't mind seeing a little hilarious rumor running around every now and again, but that can't be the basis for which the show thrives on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got great personality women, you got a lot of women with a lot of different things going on, and sometimes I feel like these be like this is what we doing. All right, let's go with it. All right, so we start with Robin at the bridal boutique, and this scene to me is honestly the epitome of what I feel like is wrong with the Robin storyline. We're going to do all this pomp and circumstance trying on gowns that we may never actually see on the bride. Okay. Now, again, I say may never see because who knows what we'll see next week? Who knows what cell phone footage we're going to get out there? I don't know. But at the end of the day, again, it's emblematic of the problems that most of us have with Robin and her story altogether. It always feels incomplete. We did a lot of work, okay, for a little bit. It's like eating crawfish to me. You got to do a lot of work to get out to suck out this little piece of meat, and half of the meat has got little stuff on it that you got to wipe away. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know, y'all down to the Louisiana, y'all might get me on this one. But that's how I feel every time I try to eat a crawfish. I got to do all this work. It's all this pomp and circumstance and pageantry, all for what? For what? For this little bit of meat? All right? I am tired of Robin giving us a little bit of meat. That's what I feel like. Why are we doing this? Why are we trying on wedding dresses? What are we doing this make pretend for? I mean, like, can we just stop it? You know what I'm saying? Comma, for Robin to sit up in that confessional and name and list out all of these things that she got to do for this wedding for two people, I do not want to hear about it. And you claiming that you got to make this happen in a month, another story. Here's the reason why. Because we know that wedding did not happen within the month of time that you were filming this show. We know it didn't happen because we know the time frame for which People Magazine tells us that you filed those papers. Okay, that was in August. Y'all finished filming in what? June, July. So you got a whole month for what? To sit back and do nothing. Okay, that's what you got a month for. To sit back and do nothing. Stop trying to make fetch happen when it's just not happening. Stop it. Okay, that's the problem. Like, and it's not like, here's the thing. It's not like none of this can be proven. It's all out there in the print. So when people think, oh, y'all go too hard on Robin, girl, like, you could at least work to make the story work for you. Okay, you got to put in a little bit of work too. You know what I'm saying? You got to get up off your butt and do something. Like, all this shenanigans, it's got to go. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Ashley comes in and she joins Giselle, and Ashley is squirming in her seat, with just this notion that I got something to tell you, Giselle. can you guess? And all that's all Giselle need is to say, but JJ, was someone bumping but JJ's, but JJ, but JJ. I mean, how did we get there? Ashley squirming in her seat to Giselle saying, but JJ, every chance she could get. It was like, girl, why are you so interested in who was bumping and grinding and licking and whatnot? Like, she ain't even uttered the words, and you already chomping at the bit, screaming about a JJ in the bridal shop. Why? Anybody else? Didn't nobody think that was crazy? Okay. Even at the mere mention that Mia was admiring Wendy's physical physique, it all of a sudden went to, so she saw her with JJ, which allegedly she did, but but we ain't gonna get to that till later. Now, of course, Giselle is got to go find out what really happened, okay? Because Ashley put some stank on the story and said, oh, well, Wendy Wendy was intrigued and then they left together. So you don't know where they went there. They go to the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Like, how she made that story seem like these two ladies ran up out of there so fast together. Like, they couldn't keep their hands off of each other. The way they tell a story, it'd be like, you almost have to think to yourself, now, if Ashley telling me the story this way, I almost know that it didn't happen that way. Okay. Like I need to reduce the volume a little bit. Okay. Because Ashley is going to make the story. You know how you have black and white, and then you have color, and then you have hyper color. Okay. Ashley's stories be in hyper color, right? Something that happened in black and white, Ashley then turned up the volume in the color all the way up. I mean, now the color is so bright you can't even see it. That's what Ashley does to stories, in my opinion. And then Giselle takes it and she turns the page, okay? And she writes a whole new story, right? Based on the little bit of information that she already got. Because Giselle already had a story in her mind that she wanted to tell. So the next thing she do is she take Ashley's story and she get the murder she wrote, and she get the typing on that keyboard, adjusting them glasses. Oh, I think this is what should happen next in the story, creating her own narratives. Let me tell you something. I just can't. And to be so transparent, she don't even try to hide it no more. She said, listen, I need to find out if Mia was bumping for JJ's or if she was licking for JJ's. Because sure enough, when I tell the story, that's going to be what happened. And sure enough, she did tell it to Robin later. Okay, in the flashback, we're going to see it. Man, it'd be too much. Tina says Robin needs to be demoted to a friend of the show because all she does is lie, allegedly. See, let me put the alleged badge up here because, my thing is like this. Okay, show up like Charisse, just for those of you guys who did not remember that. But my thing about this is like, Robin, just try to at least, just try. That's all I want you to do is try. Just try. Okay. Jameson says, I think Giselle is deflecting from her. And you know what? I can't say that. Oh no. Jameson, y'all not going to get me in trouble today. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it to me. Okay. We had another super chat that I missed. My bad. It was from Queen Love, who gave a super sticker. Thank you so much, Queen Love. I appreciate you. Please don't feel like it would charge it to my mind and not my heart. Okay, charge it to my mind and not my heart. Now, who they gonna invite? Ashley got to go because she got other business to spread, and maybe try to keep track of Michael. But anyway, they want Giselle want to know, well, girl, who do you want to come to this? Not to mention Robin tried on some dresses. Giselle's like, girl, who you want to come to this bridal shower? I mean, this bachelorette party, okay? And Robin is like, well, I don't want Karen to come, and I don't want Wendy to come either, because Wendy was laughing and doing the most when Karen was talking about Juan. And I'm like, now, if we are not going to be friends with everybody that laughs at something crazy in this group, the whole group was laughing about Karen, and I am for certain Karen will not have those same rules unless Karen just understands that these ladies are not her friends to begin with. But I digress. JMW says gossip drunks at the strip club. Wendy and Karen was invited in their mouths the whole was in their mouths the whole night. Robin who? Thank you for that super chat. Y'all, I'm already hoarse. Okay. All right, Candace and Chris are home for lunch. This is where Miss Deborah makes her appearance. They talk about the music video release. Trina can't come because she at the Essence. She gonna be at the Essence, which again lets you know around the time that the show finished filming. If you needed a little bit of extra info about that month gap between when Robin is allegedly filming the trying on of these dresses to the time period for the month that she's claiming that she's got to plan this wedding, that tells you right there. Candace just gave us the tea. If Trina got to be at the Essence, we know that the Essence happens at the beginning of the July. Okay. Boom. So anyway, side note, I don't know what Candace did to her hair in this scene, but it was looking the bomb. Okay. And now I'm off of that. So she recaps the trip, and the ladies was fighting down in Mexico. She did call them old ladies. Now I didn't notice that. Chris said it sounds real extra. She reveals the rumor that Juan was cheating. Chris ain't surprised. Okay. Candace thinks that rumor is about as dumb as Chris allegedly trying to grab on the cookie lady and gobble, 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 gobble her up. Okay. Y'all remember we had a cookie lady. Oh my God. We had the cookie lady on Atlanta, and now we got the cookie monster on Potomac. Did y'all realize that? Oh Lord. Meanwhile, Wendy and Karen, they meets for lunch. All right. And they get to talking and commiserating. And, apparently Wendy did not see the photograph of Karen and the blue-eyed man. Okay. And because of that, she does not know whether or not that was Karen indeed at the bar with the man with the blue eyes, allegedly. Now, Candace tells Chris that was Karen at the bar with the blue-eyed man. And I'm not even sure what any of this is supposed to mean, because I can go to the bar and sit beside anybody and they got some blue eyes. I mean, unless to me, this was a photograph of Karen Huger locked in a warm embrace, with the blue-eyed bandit, okay? Unless she was wrapped up in the warm embrace, I don't know what this is supposed to prove, okay? Other than she went to Vegas and had a good time. And to be quite honest, the same goes for Juan, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, unless we see some photographs of Juan wrapped up in a warm embrace, I mean, at the end of the day, if these people want to go out here and run around in the streets, I don't care no more. I don't. Now that when I really sit back and I think about it, I don't care. Okay? Because it all feels like make-believe to me at this point. With all the accusations and stuff like that, I'm almost at the point where I don't take none of this stuff seriously. Is it just me? Or are we all becoming numb to the allegations at this point? I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm kind of numb to it. I don't care if Juan wants to run the streets. I really don't care if Juan and Robin, I mean, do I believe the wedding is real? No, I don't believe it. If I'm being honest with myself, I don't care. That's the thing. I think I just don't care. I am tired. I am tired of the same old on this show. Now that I think about it, I am numb. Meanwhile, Wendy was not invited to the Ashley FaceTimes them, because Ashley really is only FaceTiming them to spill the beans. Production said, well, Karen and Wendy are together today, so you might as well give them a call. And Ashley is none too happy to reveal, girl, y'all weren't invited to the Bachelorette party. So as soon as Wendy questions, well, girl, why wasn't I invited? And Ashley is just like, well, it's probably because of Giselle. And Wendy astutely says, no, girl, it is Robin's Bachelorette party. And typically the Bachelorette party is based on a list that the Bachelorette actually wants on the list. So if she didn't want me on the list, so that's why I'm not there. And Wendy don't understand because Wendy felt like she didn't do nothing wrong. In the grand scheme of things, did Wendy do anything wrong? Well, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that she laughed, okay, and she screamed, okay. If you need further evidence of the scream, I have it right here. Now, because she did a scream when Karen was bringing out all the tea against Robin, I think that's why she didn't get invited to the Bachelorette party. However, I think that everybody was having reactions, especially when you watch them all up in the steak joint when they're talking about the grand dame. So was Wendy really in the wrong? Let us know in the chat down below. Meanwhile, let's see what else is going on. Giselle stops by Mia's house. Here's where things get messy. All right, so they dive into the tea that Ashley spilled at the wedding gown try-on that Robin had at the beginning. And that there was some high flirtation between Mia and Wendy. Now, Giselle basically says she already didn't spread some rumors, so it don't really matter what really happened, but what did happen. So Mia says that Wendy showed her but JJ. Now, I just want to say this. We have not heard Wendy speak about this as of yet. I am wondering how Wendy is going to respond to this, because let's say for the sake of argument that she did not do it. Or let's say for the sake of argument that she did. Just given Wendy's profession, I don't know that she would want this information running around out there. But I could be wrong. I don't know. All I know is Mia says she showed it to her. Then Mia says that she didn't ask her to show it, but she looked. So then Mia says that Wendy asked to see hers. Okay. And apparently she showed it to Wendy, allegedly. Then, allegedly, when the producer asked Mia, did Wendy touch on it? Mia said Wendy touched on it, slapped it around, and said it was pretty. Now, I added the slap around part, okay, for dramatic effect. That did not happen. But it just goes to show you on this show, whatever you say, it goes. Okay. Do I know whether or not this happened? I don't know. All I'm going by is what Mia said in the show. Now, she ain't waste no time saying it. She said it just as plain as day. There was no hesitation about it. So, okay. So apparently after that, Jacqueline called at some point, and Mia is still not feeling her. So I don't know. So they start preparing for Robin's bachelorette party and bring out a bunch of straws and stuff like that. I don't know. There was these little shenanigans that don't really faze me. Wendy is prepping for an appearance on the Simone Sanders show. And she's getting herself ready. And she's like, okay, oh, I'm not invited to the party. Fine, I'll get to work. Giselle heads over to Mia's and they all load up on the Sprinter. Ashley shows up wearing the same see-through purple snakeskin onesie, okay, bodysuit, leotard, whatever you want to call it, as Mia. So they sisters in the name of Spanx, okay? And they all load up on the bus. Now, when Charisse arrives, she is a little jealous because she should have been the person planning this whole thing. My thing, Charisse, is take the initiative. If you had thought of it, then you should have done it. But you didn't think of it. So therefore, you didn't do it. Next, just show up on the bus and be grateful that you're there. Actually, to be quite honest with you, I don't know why you would want to have to throw some. I wouldn't want to throw nobody nothing anyway. They want to do it, fine. Let them do it. That's less I got to do. Meanwhile, Karen heads to a meeting with some candle manufacturers. She got a 4-wick coming out. Did you know? Okay. She got a 4-wick to go with the 3-wick. Next is going to be a 5-wick and a 10-wick. Back on the bus, Charisse reveals that Mia and Wendy kissed. Oh, yes, don't you know? In addition to looking at hoo-has, they apparently did some kissing. Actually, it wasn't just Wendy and Mia allegedly kissing. It was also a 4-way kiss. But I could not tell from the way that they showed the photo on the screen. It made it seem like the 4-way kiss was Mia, Ashley, Wendy, and Candace. But because I was also taking notes, I really couldn't get a good gauge on who indeed was in the 4-way. But here we are with another 4-way, another episode, another 4-way. Lots of 4s on this show. 4 degrees, 4 ways, 4 homes. 4 is the magic number. 4 wicks. Okay. All right. Now, they get to the Empire Gentlemen's Club, and they do indeed serve steak and lobster at the Gentlemen's Club, where the women dance beyond the pole and in the shower rooms, and they got their leotards on. A 4 for 4, if you will. Yeah, that's what you say. Okay, this is one of those statements where if you know, you know. Kay says during the Bachelorette, I was doing the Vicky sleep. Okay. Oh, God. Meanwhile, somebody said, did I miss something? Why did they go to the strip club to see women instead of men? I'm assuming, and this just could be my assumption, I personally think that I feel like seeing women strippers would be more exciting than seeing men, because I feel like women, and I could be making a generalization, but y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in general, women, when they do the dancing and it is entertaining, they do a lot more that's actually entertaining, to be honest with you. That's just from my experience, okay? My limited experience, but that's all I know. Meanwhile, Charisse wants to know what's going on with Ashley and Michael. Ashley says they have been trying to create a good environment and they have been trying to be nice to each other. And she stutters her way through this whole explanation. You know, Candace basically says this. If she had a chance, if she had a chance to divorce Gollum, do y'all know who Gollum is? I had a photo of Gollum. That's Gollum. Candace says, if I had an opportunity to divorce Gollum and take his money, I would. The precious. This is Gollum. This is Gollum for our Lord of the Rings fans out there. Candace's commentary last night was hilarious. Now, Ashley claims that she doesn't think that they're going to reconcile, but she don't know yet, you know? Ashley says Michael told her he wasn't dating. Au contraire, mon frere, because Candace says that man was up in Chris's spot at the View, okay, with a whole nother woman who allegedly was not cute. Now, I'm wondering who this other woman was. I really wonder, was it this lady right here? Was it her? Was Michael with her? Okay? Was Michael with this woman here? Because this woman gets around. This woman gets around the Montgomery County and the Georgetown. She gets around, and she gets around frequently. Frequently. So you got to be careful running around here with your man on the loose and with this woman on the loose, because she'll snatch him up in a heartbeat, running through the streets of D.C. Now, Ashley becomes visibly upset, saying that he'll tell her one thing and do another. Charisse tells her, well, you can't be mad at the man for being with this woman because he is getting a divorce. You are divorcing this man. He can now do who he wants to do. She'll take him. Meanwhile, they devour the steak and lobster, and they get to talking about Karen, of course. And Charisse says she doesn't know what Karen's issue is. But the last time she was at a club, she was with that Karen Huger, and Karen disappeared, okay? And Karen is known, allegedly, for getting drunk at the club and will bump and grind on any clunker that she can find, okay? Not only will she bump and grind on any clunker that'll come her way, she was allegedly found in the club clunking on a dude in the bathroom. You know, anything goes over here, okay? Anything goes on this show. It's just like, say whatever you will. Say what you want. It don't matter. Who cares anymore? Who cares? Fine, let's go. So, all the women laugh. Everybody at the table is a laughing and a chuckling, except for Giselle, who was looking mildly interested. Now, Candace asks, well, when was this? Charisse says it was recent. And Giselle says that she has known about this from before. Ashley says she has heard it too. But Ashley also guesses that Karen has affections for Blue Eyes. Interesting. Interesting that Karen and Ashley both found older men. So if by chance she is assuming that Karen has eyes for another man, could we have assumed that Ashley also had eyes for another man because they was with the older man? I'm just asking the question. Because turnabout is fair play in this situation. Is it not? All right. Meanwhile, Apparently, Blue Eyes was the driver, allegedly. And that's the first version of the story. Blue Eyes, this man right here, was driving Miss Daisy. Okay, because Karen allegedly could not drive. Karen allegedly had a license taken away. So we get that Giselle has been holding on to the hot box and the Sing Sing from last year. And I had a feeling this was going to come back up at some point. So I have to wonder, was this Giselle's plan all along to get this information to come out? I don't know. But it just does seem like, haven't we seen this play out before? At the end of the season, everybody's against Karen. I don't know. So now, Mia asks, well, are y'all calling Karen a street worker? And I'm not going to use the word because it's the YouTube, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, how we get to the street worker? According to Mia, because Cherie says that Blue Eyes was not indeed the driver. Blue Eyes was the man working at the hotel. What hotel? Okay. Now, as we go deeper down this rabbit hole, Mia asks, well, are y'all saying that, Karen is a street worker? According to Mia, G says that when older men get with younger women, they allow the younger woman to get with other men. Because for her, if Ray cannot climb the stairs, then Ray certainly cannot climb on top of the Karen. Giselle thinks it's been a great night at the strip club. There were dancers, there was steak, there was lobster, there was a shower scene. They found out that Karen allegedly might have been, or they are saying and claiming that she was a street worker. I mean, what else could they ask for? And then I say to myself, how where is the line on this show? Where's the line? It just feels like there's no more line. The bottom that fell out of the show. And anybody can say anything about anybody, and it is what it is. But the problem that happens when you say when you no longer have any lines that you won't cross is that the insults will become more and more bottom of the barrel. And that's pretty much where we have gone on this show. The insults have just become bottom of the barrel. But the problem with reaching the bottom of the barrel for the audience is that we have just become, I don't know if you're like me, but I'm kind of like, okay, now what? I don't know. Like when there's no more line, it's just like, where else can you go? Like, y'all got to do something else. Y'all got to give me something else. Y'all got to give me something else. So I can't get this episode of 10 like I want to because I feel like there's a way for Housewives to be funny, to be amusing, and to have high level shade and drama without it dissolving into the depths of just low level, low vibrational plate energy, you know? And I feel like that's where we are. So, with that being said, um, at this point, I don't even care what they say no more. It don't even matter. It don't matter. Thank God it's the end of the season because I love this franchise, but I am tired. Okay? I am tired. With that being said, until we find this woman here, you're right, Luella. Until we find this woman right here, I'm out. I will catch y'all in the next video. Okay?